There are a lot of creators out there that people enjoy. But every once in a while, somebody different comes along. Somebody who doesn't just entertain you. They become a part of your life. That was Luke Nichols. And that's why when he stepped away from the Outdoor Boys, it hit way harder than a typical YouTube goodbye. Because this wasn't just some guy leaving the internet. This was a guy that millions of people genuinely respected. A guy that families watched together. A guy that made adventures feel fun, safe, real, and somehow still full of wonder. And what makes his story so interesting to me is that he didn't walk away when things were going bad. He walked away when he was absolutely crushing it. So the question isn't, why did the Outdoor Boys fail? The real question is, what makes somebody walk away from the kind of success that most people spend their entire life searching for? And I think the answer says something much bigger than just YouTube. I think it says something about fame, about family, about peace, and about what success actually costs once you get it. I think one of the reasons why Luke meant so much to so many of us is that he never felt like a manufactured creator. He felt like a real man, a real dad, a real outdoorsman, and a real person. He wasn't trying to look cool every second. He wasn't even trying to act like some polished celebrity. He just went out there and did hard, fun, wild, memorable things, and he let us come along for the ride. And I think people felt something deeper than entertainment. They felt trust, because the guy on camera seemed to be the same guy off camera. And to a lot of us, that matters, especially in this day and age. We live in a world where a lot of content feels engineered, but Luke felt genuine, not perfect, not like a fake human, but just like a genuine human being. And that's rare. And that's why I think so many people, including me, didn't just admire his videos. We admired him. A lot of creators disappear because of scandal, or because their views dropped, or even because maybe they just lost interest. But that's not what happened here. Luke told all of us that the attention became overwhelming. He said that he and his wife were worried that what that kind of growth would do to their family. And he made that decision before the situation got so big that normal life stopped feeling normal. He also said that he wanted more time with his kids, that he wanted to help his son Tom, and that he wanted to focus more on helping other people. And that's what makes this story so powerful. He didn't leave because he couldn't keep winning. He left because he decided that some things were just more important than winning. And man, that is not how the internet teaches people to think. The internet teaches us, keep scaling, keep hosting, keep growing, keep feeding the machine, and keep chasing the next million. But Luke looked at that path and said, no, not if it costs my family their normal life. That is a wildly different kind of success. Now, I don't want to pretend that I know everything going on in Luke's life, because I don't. None of us do. And I think that's important to remember, because when someone people love disappears, the internet rushes in to explain it. You see stuff on burnout, money problems, couldn't handle the pressure, couldn't handle the fame, got depressed, they lost their passion. These are all the things I see people trying to fill the void with. But what we actually know publicly is more simple than most people think. Luke said that the fame and the attention were getting overwhelming. He said that he was worried about the impact of his family, and he wanted to stop before it got even more out of hand. That alone should be enough reason. It doesn't need a scandal. It doesn't need a conspiracy. It doesn't even need the internet turning his family life into fan fiction. Sometimes the truth is just this. A good man looked at what success was becoming and decided it was no longer the life that he wanted for the people he loved the most. I think a lot of people felt strangely emotional about the Outdoor Boys ending, because Luke built the kind of connection with viewers that almost feels personal. Not because we knew him. We didn't. But because we watched him for years. We watched him with his kids. We watched him solve problems. We watched him laugh at dumb stuff. And we watched him do hard things without having to turn everything into ego. And over time, you start to feel like you know someone. That kind of one-sided bond even has a name. It's called parasocial relationship. It can be healthy and comforting, but it can also make departures hit hard because viewers feel deeply connected to someone who doesn't even know them. And honestly, I think that's why so many people still check in. Not because they want gossip, because they miss somebody who brought something good into their life. That's not weird. That's just being human. This is the part that I think a lot of creators quietly understand. When the thing that you love becomes the thing that pays your bills, it changes, even if you still love it. Now, every trip that you go on is content. Every idea you have is a deadline. Every upload becomes a performance. Every week ends up having pressure attached to it. More creators are openly talking about burnout and mental health strain from always being on. And newer research has found higher levels of exhaustion, pressure, anxiety, and burnout among digital creators. So I'm not trying to put words in Luke's mouth here. I'm just saying that this is the bigger tension that his story is bringing to light. Because even if you love making videos, there comes a point where the machine can start eating the joy that gave birth to it in the beginning. And I think that's possibly one of the reasons why this story resonates so deeply outside of just the outdoor world. A lot of people know exactly what that feels like. Maybe not with YouTube, but with work, with success, with ambition, with chasing something that once gave you life starts to take life away from you. One of the things that stood out to me was that Luke didn't totally disappear from the world. He later appeared in limited ways, including helping Stephen from My Laugh Outdoors during a time when Stephen's wife was battling cancer. Luke himself said that he stepped in so that Stephen could focus on his family and not have to worry about the bills. To me, that's amazing because it suggests that it was never about I hate the outdoors, or I never want to be seen again. It looks a lot more like I just want to set some boundaries. A man choosing when to step back, and when it truly mattered, stepping back in to help somebody else. That doesn't make me respect him less. That makes me respect him more. I think it's also worth asking, why did the Outdoor Boys explode the way they did? Yeah, I mean, the adventures were great. The survival stuff was amazing. And yeah, even the family element mattered a lot. But what I think the deeper answer is that Luke represented something that people are starving for. Competence without arrogance. Masculinity without chest beating. Family without fakery. Adventure without cynicism. And skill without trying too hard to impress you. That combination is incredibly rare. He made people feel like the world was still full of dads teaching their kids, hard things being worth doing, and ordinary life still having magic in it. And that, to me, is a huge deal. And maybe that's why people didn't just watch, they cared. I think that the reason why this story stays with people is because it flips the normal success story upside down. Usually the story is something like this. Work hard, blow up, get rich, get famous, and keep climbing. But Luke's story is different. It tells us that you can get the thing that everybody wants and still decide that it's not worth the trade. And to me, that's a powerful message, especially now. And maybe that's why people still talk about him. Not because he disappeared, but because in a world addicted to more, he was one of the few people willing to say, this is enough. So no, I don't think that Luke Nichols failed at YouTube. I think he may have done something much harder. I think he succeeded enough to see the cost clearly, and then had the courage to walk away before it took too much away from the people he loved. And honestly, That might be one of the most admirable things he's ever done. If Luke ever sees this, I just want to say thank you. Not just for the videos, not just for the adventures, but for setting a real example. For showing people that success is not just about how big you can get. Sometimes it's about knowing when to protect what matters most. And I think that's one reason why still so many people miss the Outdoor Boys. Because what Luke gave people was bigger than content. He gave people something real.